Don't talk about Diep like that, Mom. James growled, defending her. She's the only one who showed me the truth. She is the woman I love, and she is my fiancée. Fiancé. Ms. Lamb nearly screamed. You think I would allow this? I will never let a married woman, a complete stranger, step into this family, especially after she led you down the path of ruin. Listen to me, James. Your father is incarcerated. You are my only hope. Come back. Find a way to retract your testimony. I will use every connection I have to bail your father out, but you have to help me. I can't, Mom, James said definitively. I have chosen my path. I chose the truth, and I chose Diep. Dad has to take responsibility. I am never coming back. Ms. Lamb completely broke down. Fine, she whispered, her voice full of defeat. You don't want to help your mother, but you need to know this. I'm coming. I am coming to that shabby little wooden house of yours. I will talk to you face to face, and I will show her what she has done to my son. Then Ms. Lamb hung up. 2 days later, a luxurious, gleaming black Mercedes-Benz slowly rolled down the muddy dirt road leading to the wooden house. It looked utterly out of place amidst the simple rural scenery. Diep, James, Ms. Huyen, and Nye were eating breakfast. When they heard the engine stop, all four knew Miss Lamb had arrived. Your mother is here, Diep said, her voice slightly trembling. She gripped James's hand tightly. Don't worry, my love, James whispered. This is my fight. I will protect you and Nye. Ms. Lamb stepped out of the car. She wore an elegant black evening dress, large sunglasses, and perfect makeup. She carried the innate authority and pride of a woman who had lived in luxury. She looked at the wooden house with disdain, from the thatched roof to the rough wooden walls. When Ms. Lamb walked in, she didn't spare a glance for Ms. Huyen or Nee. She only stared at James, and then her knife-sharp gaze shifted to Diep. You've changed so much, James, Ms. Lamb said, without a greeting. She removed her sunglasses, revealing red, tear-stained eyes. You used to be a gentleman. Now you live in this pigsty with a woman like this. This is my home, Mom, James said, stepping in front of Diep. And this is my family. You should be polite. Ms. Lamb laughed loudly, a sarcastic, mocking cackle. Polite? You want me to be polite when my son put his own father in prison? James, what is wrong with you? Has she cast a spell on you? Ms. Lamb moved closer to Diep, completely ignoring James. She looked Diep up and down her eyes, full of judgment and contempt. You are the woman who tore my family apart. Miss Lamb said to Diep, her voice cold and venomous. I know your type. You are a gold digger. You saw James, the boss's son, as a ticket to a better life. You seduced my son, making him abandon everything he was ever taught. Diep felt her face flush, but she remained composed. She had faced too much fear to be defeated by a mere insult. Ms. Lamb. Diep countered, her voice firm. I didn't seduce anyone. I saved your son's life. And he is the one who chose the truth. He is not a child to be led around by me. He did what a decent man should do. Decent, Ms. Lamb screamed. Your decency put his father in prison. Do you know what his life will be like there? He is an older man, not accustomed to hardship. He will die there, You are a murderer." Deep, Ms. Lamb turned to James, her eyes filled with despair. "James, do you hear her? She is a demon. Look at yourself. You had everything: money, reputation, power. Why did you trade it all for this trash? It is not worth the price." "Mom, enough," James roared. He rarely raised his voice to his mother, but he couldn't stand it anymore. "I love Diep. She is not trash. She sacrificed everything to protect me and protect the ledger. She is a wife, a mother, a courageous woman. You have no right to insult her in my own home." Ms. Lamb staggered back, stunned. She had never seen James react so fiercely. Her pride and composure shattered. You dare speak to me like that?" Ms. Lamb whimpered, her eyes welling up. "You choose her over your mother, over your father, over this entire family. I choose the truth." "Mom," James said, his voice softening but remaining resolute, "I choose a life without running, without fear. I want to live with the dignity Diep spoke of." Ms. Lamb began to sob uncontrollably, the cries of a woman who had lost everything. She had lost her husband, her life partner, and now she was about to lose her only son. "I can't live without your father, James." Ms. Lamb said, her hands trembling. "He is my life. He gave me everything. Don't you understand? We are a family. We have to protect each other, not destroy each other." Ms. Lamb stepped closer to James, her tears washing away her perfect makeup. She grabbed James's hands, pleading, "Help me, James. Do anything. Lie. Retract your testimony. You can say you were tricked. You can say you were forced. I'll take care of the rest. I'll give her money. I'll give her anything she wants, just as long as you return to your place as your father's son. No, Mom." James shook his head, heartbroken. "I can't live with that lie. I have found my purpose here with Diep and Nye. I don't need money or power. I need peace." James's final refusal was like a knife to Ms. Lamb's heart. Ms. Lamb looked at James with eyes full of hopelessness and unbearable pain. "So, this is the end," Ms. Lamb whispered. She released James's hands, her whole body trembling. "You have truly chosen her. You have truly killed your father, and you have killed your mother." Ms. Lamb took a step back, her eyes scanning the wooden room. She saw the poverty and simplicity, but she also saw the warmth and peace that she had never found in her luxurious mansion. She realized that her son had found something more precious than all her wealth. Ms. Huyen, who had been silent till now, stepped closer to Ms. Lamb and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "Sister," Ms. Huyen said, her voice soft and empathetic, "You are mistaken. Diep did not steal your son. You and your husband pushed him away. Love is not a debt to be paid. It is a choice." Ms. Lamb weakly pushed Ms. Huyen's hand away, but the words had struck a chord. She stared at James, then at Diep, then at Nee, who was watching her confused. The despair became overwhelming. The pride of a wealthy woman vanished. Ms. Lamb, who had once been an icon of elegance, suddenly collapsed onto the wooden floor. She lay there screaming and weeping, a desolate, agonizing cry, like a wounded animal. She was not crying for the loss of wealth, but for the loss of her family. She clutched her head, mumbling incoherently. Why did you do this to me? You are my everything. I don't want to live anymore. James rushed over, kneeling beside his mother. Although he was firm in his decision, he couldn't bear to see his mother suffer. Mom, don't say that. James put his arms around her shoulders. I'm still here. You still have me. I won't abandon you. Ms. Lamb weakly pushed him away. No, you already abandoned me. You chose to destroy everything we had. I don't need a traitor son. Diep silently watched the scene. She understood this was not a battle between her and Ms. Lamb. This was the collision between a man and his painful past. Ms. Huyen gently led Ni out. Diep fetched a cup of warm water and handed it to James for him to give to his mother. Finally, Ms. Lamb stood up. She looked at James one last time, her eyes dry of tears, leaving only a frightening emptiness and coldness. I am leaving. Ms. Lamb said, her voice hoarse. I will never return to this cursed house. But you must remember this, James. I do not forgive you, and her love will always be the price you pay for this betrayal. She turned her back, not looking at Diep or James. She got into the luxury car, and the car quickly disappeared down the dirt road, taking her solitude and despair with it. Silence returned to the wooden house, but this time it was a heavy silence. James was still kneeling on the floor, trying to catch his breath. Diep walked over, knelt down beside him, and held him tightly. Are you okay, James? She whispered. James nodded, burying his face in her shoulder. I had to do it, Diep. I can't let my mother destroy our life. I know, Diep said. I know the price is her suffering. But you did the right thing. You chose the light. James slowly released Diep. He looked into her eyes, and he saw boundless strength and love. He took the copper ring off his finger. Diep, he said, we defeated Fat. We overcame the threat. Now we must face the family, his family. This battle will never fully end. His mother may never forgive him. But I want you to know this. I never regret it. The price might be severing ties with my past, but it's a worthy price. He slid the copper ring onto her finger. We will have our wedding, Diep. Not in a grand cathedral, but here at this wooden house. We will invite the people who love us. We will have a simple ceremony, but one full of vows. Do you agree? Diep smiled, tears streaming down her face. I agree, James. I agree to be your wife, not Ms. Lamb's daughter-in-law, but the wife of the heroic man who chose justice. They embraced a new vow, ignited love would conquer all division. A few weeks later, bright, brilliant sunlight illuminated the wooden house. Everything was decorated simply but warmly. Ms. Huyen had cleaned and adorned the garden with wildflowers and paper lanterns. Ni, wearing a small, lovely white dress, was the only flower girl, her face beaming. There were only a few guests. Ms. Huyen, the chief of police James's former girlfriend, who had helped them, and a few of Ms. Huyen's close neighbors. There was no luxury, only sincerity. Diep stepped out, wearing a simple white ao dai that Ms. Huyen had tailored for her. She looked beautiful and pure. James waited for her at the altar. He wore a simple white shirt and trousers. As Diep approached, He smiled the smile of a man who had found his true harbor. Instead of reading traditional vows, James looked into Diep's eyes and said, "Diep, you taught me what courage and sacrifice truly mean. You gave me a family, a purpose in life. My mother may not forgive me. My father may be incarcerated, but I am no longer afraid. Today, I promise I will never let our love become a price to pay. It will be a gift to cherish. I will protect you nigh, and the truth we fought to win." Diep held his hands tightly, the copper ring glistening in the sun. "James," she replied, her voice full of emotion, "I rejected you so you could live. Today, I accept you so we can live together. I promise to face any revenge, any curse with you. You are my home, and this wooden house is our vow. I love you." They shared a passionate kiss, the kiss of a couple who had overcome life and death to be together. Applause erupted, and the blare of police sirens was replaced by laughter and song. Life might never be completely peaceful for them. The revenge of Mislam, or anyone from the old crime network, remained a potential threat, but in that moment, under the roof of their beloved wooden house, they knew they had everything. Love had won. Will Mislam truly give up on her son? Will the revenge of the elite class find its way to the wooden house again? Or will James and Diep live a peaceful life protected by their justice and their love? The final sentence from your Vietnamese input was slightly incomplete, but here is the translation of the preceding idea, ensuring continuity with the narrative. After Ms. Lam left in despair and rage, the wooden house was enveloped in a heavy silence. Although James had resolutely defended Diep, and his decision, the sight of his mother collapsing still, was a deep wound. He knew that this separation was necessary for justice and for his own happiness, but it was still an undeniable loss. Diep and James's wedding was intimate and discreet, bringing a moment of peace and hope. But James knew that if he wanted any chance of reconciliation in the future, he had to make his mother understand the magnitude of his father's crimes and the true reason behind his actions. A week after the wedding, James gathered his courage and called his mother again. He knew she was suffering and angry, but he couldn't let her live in self-deception and blindness any longer. This time, Ms. Lam picked up immediately. Her voice was weak, but still cold. "Why are you calling me to boast about your shabby little nest? No, Mom." James said, his voice calm and sincere. "I called to tell you the truth that Dad has kept from you all this time. I don't need to hear anything else. I've heard enough. You chose your father's enemies." "No, Mom. I chose my father's victims. Did you ever wonder why Dad always traveled on secret business? Why he had late-night meetings he never told you about? Why he was always so excessively concerned about security?" Ms. Lam was silent. Curiosity was beginning to overcome her anger. He was a big businessman. He had complex dealings. "No, Mom. He wasn't a businessman. He was a crime lord," James said firmly. "I found the ledger, Mom. The book didn't just record shady transactions. It recorded the entire human trafficking network that Dad was running." James began to tell the story, detailing everything without omission. He told her how his father's network deceived poor people in remote areas, promising them good jobs abroad. They were loaded onto trucks, not tourist buses, Mom. They were taken to secret warehouses held like livestock. They were beaten and abused to force them to do what your father wanted. Ms. Lamb gasped. What are you saying, James? Human trafficking? Your father is a respectable man. You're making this up. Do you remember the mass disappearance case in Songhoi Village a few years ago, Mom? The case where the police never found any leads? That was an accident. That was the fault of illegal immigrants. No, Mom. That was your father's work. He arranged everything. He paid the local police to cover it up. And that wasn't the only time. Dozens, maybe even hundreds of people disappeared through his hands. James told her about the harvest map that Diep once owned. The map leading to the plots of land his father used to hide bodies or as transit points. He recounted how his father had used company money to build a solid network of subordinates from south to north, including Phat Duong and Dr. Can. I saw it with my own eyes, Mom. I saw women held in iron cages. I saw children separated from their mothers. They weren't illegal immigrants. They were victims. James continued his story, moving on to what happened to himself. This was the most difficult part. Do you remember when I said I wanted to leave the company and pursue a different path? I wanted to be a journalist, Mom. I wanted to investigate the cases the police ignored. Ms. Lamb sniffled. That was because you were too naive. You didn't want the glorious life your father set up for you. No, Mom. It was because I started to suspect. James cut in. I found suspicious paperwork and unaccounted for expenditures. I secretly investigated, and I found a part of the ledger. I went to Dad, and I asked him about it. James paused, his throat tightening. He felt the pain of having to speak this truth. What did he do to you, James? Ms. Lamb asked, her voice trembling with fear. He didn't deny it. He laughed in my face. He said that was the price of being a powerful man. And when I said I was going to expose the truth, James took a deep breath. He ordered Phat to kill me. Ms. Lamb's crying suddenly stopped. There was a deadly silence over the phone line. What did you say? Ms. Lamb whispered, her voice barely audible. Dad ordered Phat and Duong. He wanted me to disappear. He wanted Diep and Nhi to think I died in an accident. Phat hunted me down from the coast all the way to this wooden house. They stabbed me, Mom. The scar on my ankle is the proof. Your father wasn't just a human trafficker. He was a murderer, plotting to kill his own son, to protect his criminal empire. James's words were like hammer blows to Ms. Lamb's mind. Ms. Lamb, who had lived in a glamorous artificial world for decades, suddenly had to face a horrifying and naked truth. Ms. Lamb started to cry, but this time, it wasn't the sound of crying over material loss. It was the sound of disappointment and pain from realizing the man she had loved and adored all her life was a demon. No, it can't be. Ms. Lamb repeated like a desperate prayer. He loved you. He always wanted you to take over. He taught you everything. He wanted me to inherit his crimes, Mom. James said bitterly. He didn't want me to be a good person. He wanted me to be cruel like him. And when I refused, I became a threat. James told her about Dr. Can, the man Ms. Lamb had always trusted as the family's private physician. Dr. Can wasn't just a private doctor, Mom. He was Dad's right-hand man in the organ trafficking network. He helped your father cover up the disappearances, not just of illegal immigrants, but of people who were brought in for treatment but never came home. Ms. Lamb let out a scream of horror over the phone. The luxury, the money, the lavish parties, it all suddenly turned into blood and tears. Ms. Lamb had been living in a castle built on human bones. Mom, I'm sorry. I had to tell you this. James said, his voice full of compassion. I know this is hard to accept, but you have to know I didn't betray anyone. I protected myself. I saved myself from a life of sin, and I saved other innocent people. Ms. Lamb was silent for a long time. Only gasping and sobbing could be heard. Finally, Ms. Lamb spoke, her voice broken. I was wrong, James. I was wrong to prioritize wealth over morality. I was blinded by love, by pride. I never dared to look at the truth. I pushed you into the hands of this woman, the only woman who saved you. Ms. Lamb completely collapsed. She didn't fall to the floor again, but her crying signaled an internal breakdown that was much worse. He did terrible things, and he wanted to kill you. Mom, now you know the truth. Your father isn't the victim, Mom. He is the perpetrator. His arrest was necessary and justified. James said gently, but what can I do now? Ms. Lamb asked, her voice lost. I've lost everything. Lost my husband, lost my honor, and almost lost you. Mom, you still have me, James said, trying to convey warmth over the phone line. Me and Diep. You might not like life here, but you can start over. You can testify against Fat and Dr. Can. You can help justice be served. Miss Lamb did not answer James immediately. She just cried. Finally, she said, I need time, James. I need time to confront all of this. I need to reevaluate my whole life. I've lived in a lie for too long. Ms. Lamb paused for a moment. About Diep, she is a good woman. She is the light in your life, isn't she? Yes, Mom. James said, his heart immensely relieved. It was the first time his mother had acknowledged Diep. She is everything good I have. Then take care of her and the child. Ms. Lamb said, her voice still shaky. And please forgive me for being so blind, for not believing you. I love you, Mom, James whispered. I never hated you. I just hated what Dad did. Ms. Lamb hung up, leaving James standing there, his hands still clutching the receiver. Diep walked over, gently hugging him from behind. You did the right thing, she said. You gave her the most valuable gift, the truth. James turned and embraced her. He knew that the road to reconciliation with his mother was long and might never be fully complete. But at least the wall of lies had been broken. The threat of Fat and his father had been dealt with. Now they could begin to rebuild little by little on the foundation of truth, love, and their simple copper ring. The call from Ms. Lamb, though painful, was a major turning point. James had not only protected his new family, but it also planted the seeds of hope for his old one. The greatest sacrifice was not giving up on love, but facing a loved one with the naked truth. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Would you dare trade love and happiness to overthrow an empire of crime? James has just returned from the dead, but the romantic proposal moment is cut short by Fat's declaration of war. You will lose everything if you stay with Diep. Diep is at a crossroads. Marrying James is signing his death warrant. She must choose the ultimate sacrifice, extinguishing her own love, accepting the loneliness, so James can execute the fateful con at Khao Song Hoi Bridge. But what is the true cost? Right after the victory, James faces his greatest pain. His mother collapses upon learning the horrifying truth about the father she adored, the man who didn't hesitate to order the murder of his own son to protect the ledger. James must sever ties with the past, but will Diep regret dragging him into this family swamp? Will justice be powerful enough to heal the wound of betrayal from a loved one? Like this video now if you believe the truth must always be exposed. And subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the moment James and Diep overcome family tragedy and the curse of revenge to claim their happiness. A few weeks after the ledger was revealed and the criminal network collapsed, the atmosphere in the wooden house had changed. It was no longer a hiding place, it was a real home. Justice had prevailed. Phat Duong, Dr. Khan, and most importantly, James's father, were all arrested. News of the shocking human trafficking case had spread nationwide. However, for Diep and James, this victory did not bring completeness. It came with a deep emotional scar. The morning after James returned and proposed again, the wooden house was flooded with sunlight. Diep was chopping vegetables, and James was sitting on the floor, helping Ly assemble a wooden sailboat model. The scene was simple, almost perfect. Diep looked at the copper ring on her finger, feeling it carried more weight than any diamond. She had lost so much to gain this moment, but she had triumphed over fear. Ms. Huyen was hanging clothes on the porch, her face gentle. She had witnessed all of Diep's sacrifices and pain, and now she felt satisfied seeing them happy. Dad, where can this boat sail to? Ly asked James, her large eyes filled with curiosity. James smiled, a much more relieved smile than before. It can go anywhere you want, Ly, but it will always know its way back home. Diep heard him, and her heart melted. She knew James was talking about them. The moment of peace did not last long. This wooden house had once been the center of all conspiracies, and now it still hadn't completely escaped the sights of old enemies. One afternoon, as James was reviewing old evidence from the ledger to prepare for the upcoming trial, he had decided to testify publicly. The fixed-line phone in the kitchen rang. It was a familiar number one he hadn't seen since he fled the mansion. James picked up, feeling a cold current run down his spine. Hello? James! Just one word, but it was enough to make the room feel cold. It was his mother's voice, Ms. Lam. A voice not of anger, but of suppressed pain and utter disappointment. Diep immediately noticed the change in James's face. She walked closer, placing a hand on his arm. Mom! James said, his voice lowering the tension obvious. I didn't think you would call me. I didn't want to call. Ms. Lam said, her voice trembling. I don't want to believe what they're saying. They say you betrayed your father, that you handed over the ledger, that you sided with the enemy to destroy our family. They're right, Mom, James replied firmly. I didn't betray him. I was just doing the right thing. Dad did terrible things, Mom. He was the head of a human trafficking network. He has to be held accountable. Ms. Lamb was silent for a long time. When she spoke again, her voice cracked. The right thing. My son, you are his flesh and blood. You are the heir. Do you know what you've done? You've forced your father to live in disgrace, to be imprisoned. You killed this family, James. Diep squeezed his arm. She felt the conflict tearing James apart. Even though his father was a criminal, his mother was still a woman in agony. Mom. I'm sorry you have to go through this, James said, trying to keep his voice level. But I can't keep pretending everything is fine. I can't live with the truth that our wealth was built on the suffering of others. Wealth. Ms. Lamb gave a bitter laugh. You think this is about wealth? It's about power, about the name you destroyed, everything, James. You made us the laughingstock of the entire elite class. And you did it for what? For a common woman. For this woman. Ms. Lamb referred to Diep with palpable contempt, making Diep feel as if she had been doused with ice water.